set out to see if a well-planned and researched series of technology-infused activities would increase the intrinsic motivation levels of my students, which would ideally translate into increased assessment scores as well. Ultimately, my action research project was a success. Students were engaged and on task during both implementation cycles. This was evident in the results of the intrinsic motivation inventories that were taken during both cycles, and of course, as the teacher, I also observed the students displaying these behaviors. What behaviors did I witness? Students were working when they were supposed to be. Students were laughing when appropriate. Students were serious when they needed to be. Students were not sitting with their heads down. Students were not doing homework for other classes. Students were engaged. I believe that increasing the motivation level of students is very tricky. I chose to do the action research during the end of the second semester in senior government classes. Most of the students were more concerned about graduation and leaving high school, so I believe that the results would have been even better had I implemented the iPad activities earlier in the school year. I also learned through research and experience that iPads could reflect the novelty concept, so it is more important to have engaging, well-planned lessons that use the iPad than simply putting an iPad in front of students with little planning. The process of developing these lessons made me really plan out every detail of what would happen in class every day. This action research reflected a positive result. My students were engaged, my students learned, but ultimately I am a better teacher now because I am aware of the importance of motivating my students to help them succeed.